anesthesia affects your brain. Despite its long history, scientists have just now begun to unravel its mystery. So in the September 1811, there was a British novelist called as Bruni Fanny, and she was suffering from a limb that was growing in her breast. So on the advice of her physician, she agreed to get her breast removed. So anesthesia like today was not available then, so Bruni had to stay awake through the entire 4-hour ordeal. So in the same year, we had Adele Smith, who was the founding daughter of the second US President John Adams Smith. So she also had a concerning lump growing in her breast, and she agreed to remove her breast when the lump grew. So Smith was belted to a chair in one of the rooms of Adam's bedroom, and she was thrust upon a prong which lifted it, and later they cut her breast with the help of a razor. So her wounds were cauterized with a hot spatula from the fireplace. So let me tell you, the entire surgery took only 25 minutes, but the traumata she suffered took her 6 whole months. But unfortunately, this couldn't save her life as intended, and she passed away after 2 years. So when you talk about surgeries without anesthesia like those of Bruni and those of Adams, of course it is excruciating for the patient and stressful for the surgeons. So there was a desire to find what is anesthesia so that people do not undergo the pain of surgery, and it dates back to very, very ancient times. So first, your anesthesia was discovered when a Chinese physician came up with the so-called anesthesia made from wine in 500 BC. So the history of anesthesia is not new, so it dates back to ancient times. But however, people didn't know how anesthesia worked, so people just focused on administering anesthesia safely. So maybe later in 1980s, they said that anesthesia disrupts the communication in your brain. So as we all know, your brain is made up of neurons, and your neuron fires signals for communication. But your anesthesia, when administered, disrupts this communication. So that was all we know in the ancient times. But in the recent year of 2021, so we came up with a key finding that helped us understand how anesthesia affects your brain. So we have 2 types of anesthesia. So I believe you know, one is local anesthesia and one is general anesthesia. So local anesthesia is to that particular space. For example, if you're operating on your stomach and they give a local anesthesia so that you don't feel pain around your tummy alone. So if it's a general anesthesia, or the whole body goes numb. So when they gave a general anesthesia like ketamine, so they found that the neuron oscillations were higher than the normal one, than the one that is required for a person to be in a conscious state, which means the neurons do not fire as and when it does in a conscious state. So when they gave a local anesthesia like a propofol, so they found that the neuron oscillations decrease significantly, thus disrupting the communication. So you're not aware of what is happening around you. So thus drugs are very dynamic, so they shift the oscillations, and that is how anesthesia affects your brain. I hope this was informative, so don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you.